Welcome. This is so exciting. So many people here at the wonderful Sonoma Valley Museum of Art. I'm Kate Eilertson, the director, and this is all you're going to see of me today. But I do want to announce that this is the first in our series of the Vander Woude Lively Art Series. We hope to be doing a lot more things like this in the next 3 or 4 months, and we hope that you'll join us for all of them. In addition, I'm going to announce that our museum cafe, where chairs are being used today, is opening next Saturday, with the grand opening the following Saturday, October 3rd. So I hope you can all come down and have a latte and look at art and talk and use Wi-Fi, okay? So I have the great pleasure of introducing our new Director of Education and Public Programs, Margie Maynard, who's going to be moderating the panel today.
Hello.
Okay.
Just testing my dynamite.
Yeah. All right, I'll take mine working.
Hi, everybody. I have the great privilege of moderating this panel today, and I just want to introduce who's sitting up here. Amy Evans McClure is right here. Sitting next to her is Al Farrow. Sitting next to her is Virginia Breier, the curator of Visions of Paradise. And on her right is Judy North. And they have graciously accepted to come up and have a conversation about the role of art in religious practice, and specifically, I think for them, they're interested in the role of contemporary art and how that plays into themes of religion and faith, and maybe even subverting religion and faith in some cases. So I'm going to start with a couple of questions for our curator, just to kind of get some background about the exhibition and how it came about. So Virginia, is there a story behind this theme and how the show came about?
Actually not, I'm not very good at this microphone thing. Can you hear? Yes. There's really not a story about how it came about. It has been for years, probably like 50 years, running around in my head, because I happen to I used to travel an enormous amount, and I just loved naive and folk art. And I found everywhere I went, it would just add to my questions in my head, that how much artistic images and sounds and rituals are deep and entrenched part of people's lives all over the world for different reasons, for different, obviously different, very different rules and regulations and beliefs and stories and faiths, but nearly always with the same. I'm really not very.
The Buddhists, in their Om Mani Padme Hum, is the jewel in the lotus. And in each of us, there's a jewel. I salute the God within you. And as an artist, and one that is practicing for many, many years, you begin to have ultimate faith in your own intuition. That's God. And the way I work is I create a collage, generally, that I use as a springboard for my paintings. And I've collected material for years. I have a huge box of the most precious treasures of things that have attracted me and that have taught me about myself, and out of magazines and newspapers and found articles, and I just spread them all out on the table. And things fall to where it's supposed to be. Many times I find something, oh my God, it's just come right down, the pieces have come together and they tell me what they mean. And my intuition is a team member. I'm a team member with it. And then there's all kinds of energy from the outside that comes in to coalesce these images. And so I have great faith in that.
Whenever there's an extreme issue, the opposite automatically exists. It's the natural duality of life, and it exists in heaven and hell. So paradise, the word paradise in the title would automatically include its opposite, because the contrast of the opposites make everything exists. I said as an example, yin, yang, black, white, positive, negative, and so on. There are so many concepts of duality throughout.
And what Judy's talking about and what all artists experience is that the creative process is the spiritual occasion. And that we don't, Judy and I just had a hamburger across the street and we're talking about this. And we decided that we have some mutual friends who are scientists and biologists and botanists and ornithologists and writers. And I said, well, none of those guys are in faith. Let's use the word compassion in the Buddhist sense of the word compassion. And I said, well, I think that it's hard for me to accept a godhead, a deity. And in Buddhism, a lot of the shows about Buddhism. In Zen Buddhism, certainly, there's no godhead that you sit down and meditate to or ask forgiveness from or for your sins. Things are just as it is, as Suzuki Roshi used to say. And someone said, Roshi, don't you mean things are as they are? And he said, no. Accept things as it is. The only thing that changes is that everything changes. And if we can accept change, then we can find the path to the end of suffering. So the things I'm saying are all kind of Buddhist philosophical ideas, the basic one of which is that there is no Godhead. So the guy who did the painting that Virginia started talking about at the beginning believes in Poseidon, believes in the sea, the ocean. Oceanus was the first Greek god of the ocean. Then we knew him later as Poseidon and Neptune, I think.
Yeah.
But he was his own Poseidon. And I think that all the artists probably in this show, especially the contemporary artists, find that creativity in the process of making the work, that's where the spiritual occasion happens.